Randy, I have been reading about what Jack Dorsey just did at his company Block. It's wild. He cut nearly half the workforce and then co wrote an essay called From Hierarchy to Intelligences with Roloff Botha from Sequoia Capital. At the same time, we are seeing a wave of AI related layoffs across tech. Can you walk us through what is really happening here? Because it feels like a seismic shift.
Sure, Michael. It absolutely is a seismic shift, and it's accelerating faster than many anticipated. Let us start with the facts on Block. In February 2026, Block laid off about 4,000 employees. That was roughly 40% of their total workforce, bringing the company down from over 10,000 people to just under 6,000. Now, Jack Dorsey did not call this simple cost cutting. He framed it as a strategic move, saying that a much smaller and flatter team using the AI tools they are building can actually do more and do it better than the previous larger organization. It's a bold claim, and it's backed by a very deliberate philosophy.
40% is a huge cut. I mean, that's not just trimming the fat, that's reimagining the whole organism. What is the bigger idea in the essay he co wrote? Because from hierarchy to intelligences sounds like it's challenging some very fundamental assumptions about how companies operate.
Exactly. The essay argues that traditional corporate hierarchy is basically a 2,000-year-old information routing system. It started with the Roman army, believe it or not, and has not changed much since then. Managers in this model existed mainly to pass information up and down the chain because humans have a limited ability to keep track of everything at once, and they're the conduits. Dorsey and Botha say AI can now do that coordination work continuously, seamlessly, and without the delays, misinterpretations, or frankly the politics that often come with layers of human management. They call this building a company as an intelligence, almost like a mini AI itself that keeps a living, evolving world model of the entire business and its environment.
So, this is not just giving every employee an AI co pilot to help them with their task, which we've been hearing a lot about. It is actually rebuilding the whole company structure from the ground up. That's a fundamentally different approach.
Exactly. In their vision, most companies today are still using AI to make the old hierarchy work a little better, like putting a faster engine in an old car. Block wants to go further. They want to build a spaceship. They are moving toward three main roles: individual contributors with deep expertise, directly responsible individuals, or DRIs, who own specific outcomes from start to finish, and player coaches who still build things themselves but also help develop other people. The core idea is to remove that permanent middle management layer and let AI handle coordination, alignment, information flow, and tracking. It's a radical departure from the traditional org chart.
Player coaches, DRIs, it's a whole new vocabulary for a new way of working. And it's not just happening at Block, though their story is certainly grabbing headlines. We are seeing similar stories elsewhere, right? This isn't an isolated experiment.
That is absolutely right. This fits into a broader 2026 AI layoff wave. It's a trend we're watching closely. Snap just announced they are cutting about 1,000 jobs, which is 16% of their full time staff, and they openly cited rapid advancements in AI as a reason they can now operate with smaller teams. Oracle has also cut thousands of jobs, with some reports estimating as many as 20,000 to 30,000, while simultaneously pouring billions into AI infrastructure and data centers. Meta, Google, and several other companies have also made targeted cuts, not always massive across the board, but definitely shifting more resources toward AI initiatives and streamlining teams. Overall, tens of thousands of tech jobs have been reduced in the first few months of 2026 alone, with AI listed as a major factor in many cases. It's not just a buzzword anymore, it's impacting employment at scale.
That number, tens of thousands, is staggering. On one hand, this sounds like real efficiency gains, the kind of productivity leap that businesses have always chased. But it also raises massive concerns about job displacement and the future of work. How do you see both sides of this, Randy? Because it feels like a double edged sword.
It definitely is a double edged sword, and we need to approach it with a balanced perspective. On the optimistic side, removing layers of bureaucracy and middle layer overhead could lead to much faster decisions, incredible agility, and significantly lower operational costs. Smaller, flatter teams, empowered by highly capable AI systems for coordination and information synthesis, might genuinely outperform large, traditional hierarchical companies. This isn't just about doing more with less, it's about doing things fundamentally differently and, potentially, better. New roles will almost certainly emerge around orchestrating AI systems, deep domain expertise that's amplified by AI, and high level strategic judgment that models still cannot fully handle. Dorsey believes most companies are late to this realization that this level of re architecture was possible and necessary even before the current AI boom.
That makes sense from a business efficiency standpoint. But the human impact, Randy, that's what keeps coming back to me. Thousands of experienced professionals in coordination, reporting, and mid level management roles are losing jobs. What about the human element, the culture, the informal networks that hold a company together? Can AI really replace all that?
That's the critical counterpoint, Michael, and it's a huge challenge. On the other hand, this shift is creating real human impact. Thousands of experienced professionals in coordination, reporting, and mid level management roles are indeed losing jobs. Not every task is easy to automate, nor should it be. Human judgment, creativity, building trust, handling complex stakeholder situations, empathy, motivating teams, these still matter a great deal, arguably more in a highly automated environment. There is also the significant risk of losing institutional knowledge when so many people depart, or burning out the remaining player coaches who now have to do more, often with less direct support infrastructure. The transition is happening faster than many people expected, and retraining doesn't happen overnight or in a single weekend course. We're talking about fundamental shifts in skill sets.
So it's not just about a job title disappearing, but entire career paths potentially being disrupted. And for those who remain, the expectation shifts dramatically. How do you balance the drive for efficiency with the very real need for human connection and nuanced problem solving that AI might struggle with?
It's about finding that new equilibrium. The player coach role, for instance, emphasizes developing people, but it also assumes those individuals are highly self directed and capable of leveraging AI themselves. It requires a significant shift in mindset from being managed to managing oneself and leveraging tools. Companies that succeed will be those that figure out how to weave AI into the fabric of their operations without losing that crucial human touch. They'll need to invest heavily in upskilling and reskilling, focusing on what we call AI literacy, not just knowing how to use the tools, but understanding their capabilities, limitations, and how to prompt them effectively to achieve complex outcomes.
Okay, so for our listeners who work in tech or management, or really anyone whose job involves information flow and coordination, which is almost everyone, what should they actually do about this? This sounds less like a slow evolution and more like a revolution.
Treat this as a clear signal, Michael, not a reason to panic, but a call to action. First, start integrating AI agents deeply into your daily workflow right now. Don't wait for your company to provide them. Find the tools that make sense for your role and become proficient. Make them part of how you get work done, whether it's summarizing documents, drafting communications, analyzing data, or even generating creative ideas. At the same time, focus on building skills that are hardest for AI to replace completely. Nuanced judgment, building real trust with people, strategic thinking, and owning outcomes end to end. This means taking full responsibility for a project or initiative, seeing it through from conception to completion, rather than just managing a small part of it. The companies and individuals who will thrive are the ones that learn to use AI intelligently to augment their human capabilities instead of just using it as a tool to cut headcount. This change is accelerating, but it is still early enough that proactive adaptation can make a massive difference in your career trajectory. Don't be a casualty, be an architect of the new way of working.
That's a thoughtful and frankly empowering take. It's about evolving, not just resisting. So essentially become indispensable in the areas AI can't touch and become masterful at wielding AI in the areas it excels. That's a clear path forward for anyone feeling uncertain right now.
Absolutely. It's about moving up the value chain. AI handles the rote, the repetitive, the data processing. Humans need to focus on the truly strategic, the creative, the empathetic, and the complex problem solving that requires intuition and interpersonal skills. Those skills become even more valuable when coupled with AI that can execute on the details.
It really shifts the definition of what management means and what contribution means too. Fascinating and a bit daunting, but ultimately it sounds like an exciting new frontier. Thanks, Randy, for breaking down this monumental shift for us.
My pleasure, Michael. It's a conversation we'll be having for years to come.
Listeners, that was our bite-sized look at how Jack Dorsey's vision for Block and the broader AI wave are reshaping work in 2026 and beyond. This isn't just a tech story, it's a human story. Let us know what you think in the comments. How are you adapting to this new landscape?